And on this episode of the Mortgage and Protection Podcast, we have Paul Collinson here from Brick to Brick Mortgage Solutions to explain the new build mortgage process for first-time buyers. It's great to chat with you again, Paul. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, how you doing? All right?
Oh, all good, thank you. Hope you are too. Now, let's get straight into these questions then that we've got here. So, first of all, people would like to know, what are the requirements for getting a mortgage on a new build?
These are much the same as a used property, really. You'll need an income of some sort, so we can calculate the affordability with the lenders. This can be from either employment income, self-employment income, benefits, or a combination of them both. Like I say, it's pretty much the same as if it wasn't a new build, where your credit file would have to be able to fit the lender's risk appetite. Each one is different on what they are more strict or more lenient with. So, yeah, like I say, much the same really on a new build or a non-new build really on that front.
Right, okay. Well, there we go. That's clear there, and good news as well. No, not too many differences. No differences really. So let's move on. People would like to know then, how much deposit do I need for a mortgage on a new build property? Any differences here for first-time buyers?
On terms of the new build side of things, the minimum really is 5%. But on new build flats, that's only going to be one or two lenders that do that. Lenders have different loan to values that they go to on new build houses and new build flats. And this is normally reduced on new build properties as a whole. But it is still achievable at the 5% level, with like I say, with a couple of lenders on the flat side of things. But if it was a new build house, because the risk is lower, that there'd be a few more lenders available. But yeah, on the whole, 5% is the minimum you would need to reach any of the lenders out there.
Right, okay. And with that in mind, then, just following on to the next question, people would like to know, can I use government schemes to get a mortgage on a new build?
And there are certain ones available. I mean, the Help to Buy has finished now. It's not around at present, but I'm unsure if it'll ever come back again. You do have the Armed Forces Help to Buy, still for the military, but not the general public. There are certain local schemes, like I've mentioned. Certain councils do have these first home schemes. You would have to check with your local council on that, because it's mainly to help key workers and people on low incomes. Although sometimes they do expand it to other people out there. It normally means you get a discount on that property, but then you would have to pass that discount on to the next buyer to do the same and to benefit other people in those situations.
Right, okay. So some points there to bear in mind. And of course, that information given is at the time of recording this episode in August 2024. Now, let's move on. This is interesting, Paul. So, can I get a mortgage for a self-build property as a first-time buyer?
Yes, you can. There are different types of mortgages for self-build, but generally, it can be done in different stages. So you'd have the footing of the property, like I said, the footing of it, and then it can be done in stages. But you can get a mortgage as a first-time buyer with that. Yeah, but like I say, it is done differently. But you do generally need a higher deposit as well, so you would need more money to start with. And generally, first-time buyers don't have those. It is rare. You can, like I say, with a first-time buyer, you normally would have to get 5%. You could get, or 10% deposit, whereas between 15 and 40% you need with a self-build property. So you can get one as a first-time buyer, but you do need more deposit up front.
Okay, so again, something to bear in mind there. Now, moving on, another question here asks, what types of new build properties can I get a mortgage for?
Any houses or flats really, as long as the construction and the build criteria match what the lenders are happy with. Basically, just a standard build like brick walls, tile roof is pretty much standard. And there are other builds that wouldn't be. Most developers would build them as a standard construction now, so it would mainly be pretty much most houses and flats would be fine for as a new build.
Okay, so that is clear there. Now, people would like to know too, what should I consider when choosing a new build mortgage advisor?
I'd ensure that the advisor has experience and has been doing a job for some time, as each situation is different, just like on a non-new build, really. Some brokers also are restricted to certain lenders. It's important to be able to ascertain what the most suitable option is for you. So I'd make sure that you do, when searching for a broker, you make sure that they have the knowledge and can reach more of the lenders out there for you.
Okay, so a key pointer there to take away from the episode. Now, I've got quite a lengthy question here, Paul. It's actually two combined. So, are there any special considerations or terms and conditions I should be aware of with getting a mortgage on a new build property? And what are the benefits and drawbacks of new build homes?
No, I don't think there are any special considerations or any terms and conditions. I mean, you do some. I mean, you need to find out when the property is going to be built because sometimes it isn't even built, and you're viewing it off plan, or they've started it and you don't know when they're going to finish it. So you need to make sure you get a proper dates there on terms of that. And with a new build, you should expect, I guess, a new build against a used property. You would expect lower maintenance with increased energy efficiency. You do get a 10-year guarantee generally, like a builder's guarantee. The another plus point is obviously you normally get things like you can choose your kitchen or your bathroom, etc. Whereas on a used property you can't do that. The drawbacks are people generally say they're not as well built as they were in other times, such as the Victorian times. They seem to last longer. It is a matter of choice of what you want to do. Obviously, with a new build, you don't need to do anything to it. As you get an older property, they do generally need more maintenance, so you do have to spend a bit more time on the DIY side of things. But yeah, that's generally it in a nutshell on the pros and cons, I guess.
Okay, brilliant. It really is down to personal circumstances there, isn't it? And what you would prefer, I suppose. Now, let's move on. How long does the mortgage application process for a new build property typically take? Again, any differences if you are a first time buyer here?
And there's not much difference because generally, but there's not a lot of difference with them. I mean, generally a mortgage process, the whole application process, mortgage to mortgage offer can take between 1 and 2 weeks when the mortgage offer's out. But then solicitors can take longer than that. Then altogether the whole process can take between 6 weeks and 3 months. But with some new build developers, they want you to exchange within 28 days. So this will have to come into our research on what the quickest and most suitable lenders are at that time, so we can get the mortgage offer out as soon as possible. And then we need the solicitors that are going to be quick as well. We have a handful of those that can get involved. And there are many other factors coming into it. Some of the new builds, like I say, they're not complete for some time. Some mortgage offers only last for 6 months. If the new build's not completing for 9 months, we need to pick the right lender for that. So there are certain things that we would need to look at, but we can get it. Normally they want you to have an exchange by 28 days, like I say. So we would have to get the quickest lender and the quickest solicitor to ensure that first part happens quickly.
Right, okay. Well, there we go. A thorough mini breakdown there, step by step guide. Now, this next question, we're covering the same ground, really. I mean, you've answered there. How long does it all take? But people would like to know, how do I get a mortgage on a new build property as a first time buyer? So, what's the process there? What are the first steps?
The initial stages, I mean, you contact us here at Brick to Brick, and what we'd do is we'd find out the maximum borrowing potential so that you know what property values to look at and what deposit to save up. And then when you find something you like, you put an offer in, they accept your offer. Then we can carry out with the rest of the fact finding details like employer details and property details. After this, we'll find the most suitable option for you. Then we'll apply with the documents that you've sent to us on file. We will then keep you updated all the way through so that you know exactly what is going on through the whole process. After the lender has valued the property and they're happy with the assessment of the case, it will then go to mortgage offer. After that, the solicitors will take over, and this is where we can help move things along, obviously with using one of our recommended ones.
Okay, so there we go. Clearly explained there as well. So hopefully that makes sense to anyone listening to this. Now, you've demonstrated there as well, Paul, how a mortgage broker can help here. But have you got anything else you'd like to add, or do you think we've covered all that we can here?
We pretty much have, but like we said, we've spoken about the steps we take. But after the application and mortgage offer, if there's issues on those legal side, obviously we can help push things through. Like we've mentioned, we can go higher up within the firms. We have a group that we deal with as well, where we can also get those to step in. And our work won't stop at the mortgage offer. So we'll be there with you every step of the way until the day that you move into your new home.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Paul. Hopefully that's proved useful to anyone listening to this. And I'm sure we'll catch you on another episode soon.
Brilliant. Look forward to it. Thanks, Tessa.
Please note, your home may be repossessed if you do not keep up with your mortgage repayments.